Okay, so for this question, right, it shows a ray of light entering the surface of the water vertically at point M and subsequently gets reflected by a mirror. So this is the mirror in the water at point N. So this is point N and strikes the water surface again at O. Explain why the light ray does not bend as it enters the water at point M. So this is point M, right? Did the water bend? Why not? As light ray hits perpendicular to the boundary, so the angle of incidence is 0. So sometimes for exam you can write that angle of incidence is 0 and you get the mark. Okay? Can we move on? Don't have to. Okay, but this is just for understanding. Okay, next, write down the angle of incidence of the light ray at point N of the mirror. So it is 25 degrees. The ray emerges from O and travels along the water surface OP, which is over here. Okay, this is O, and it goes along the boundary of the water and air, right? Okay, so determine the critical angle of water. What is the angle of refraction? What is the angle of refraction? Where is the light ray? Light ray is here, right? Angle of refraction, the normal is here. So what's the angle of refraction? The angle of refraction is here, is 90 degrees. Okay? So when the angle of refraction in the less dense medium is 90, the angle of incidence in the denser medium is then called the critical angle. And from geometry, we can see that the critical angle will be 25 plus 25 equals to, so the answer is 50. Okay, next we are going to determine the refractive index of the water. Okay, now how is the light ray traveling? From denser to less dense or less dense to denser? Less dense to denser was here, over already. So now we move on. The light ray is actually traveling from denser to less dense. Okay, so if it's from denser to less, so if it's from denser to less dense, which formula do we use? Equals to 1 over n, right? And when your angle of refraction becomes 90, it becomes sine C equals to 1 over n. So actually you can just memorize it. Now if we were to substitute my critical angle, which is angle of 50, right? I should get n equals to 1.31. Okay? Okay, so now if the same experimental setup is repeated with water being replaced by olive oil, and now olive oil, they tell us that the refractive index is 1.46. Okay, so with working clearly shown, state what happens to the ray at point O. So now you are given refractive index. What can you find? You can find the critical angle, right? So again, we can use a formula. Sine C equals to 1 over n. So my C will then be 43.20. Or actually should be 43.2. Okay, so that is a critical angle. Alright. What is the angle of incidence still? Angle of incidence is still, it didn't change, correct? It's still 50 degrees. Okay, so very good question. The better candidates will appreciate that although I changed the medium, but the angle of incidence remains the same. So if you are able to write this short sentence, you can show that you understand the situation. Understand or not? So since angle of incidence is still 50, angle of incidence is greater than your critical angle. Your 50 degrees is greater than 43.2. And when this happens, by the way, is the light traveling from denser to less dense or less dense to denser? Since it's going from denser to less dense, and I have this second condition also fulfilled, therefore the light ray will undergo TIR. And that is how you get your 2 marks. So you need to show your working and then finally follow up with a conclusion.